heart, something about me. You always win, you always get away. No matter how much pain you cause, I stay.
Good evening, everybody. I didn't know I was on camera yet. How y'all doing? Welcome. Y'all come on in, get situated, get settled. Like it or not, it's about to go down. Good evening, everybody.
And I don't want to be apart. I just want to be with you. I always want to be with you, my love. Babe, I got a lonely heart. And I don't want to be apart. I just want to be with you, my love. Oh, oh, oh. You, my love. You, my love. You, my love. You, my love. There was something you were screaming about.
All right, now we go. Now I'm good to go. I had to make sure I shared the stream. If you're here right now, share, like, subscribe, and all that other good stuff, man. Let's break the algorithm. Welcome again, y'all. Come on in, get situated, get settled. Y'all know the voice, y'all know the sound. James Williams, DJ Exclusive, is in the building. Good evening, everybody. My God, I'm so happy it's Friday. Win Singerful, how you doing? Uh-oh, YouTube then added reactions now. Oh, that's dope. Roller Dragon, welcome. Win Singerful Spin Cycle, what's going on? Bluebird on my shoulder. That's cute. Kevin Eller, what's going on? Bake Ryman Zeta, what's going on? S Gainer, hey y'all. Parker, what's going on? Utter Bull Spin, I see you. Laura, hey Laura S, how you doing?
I just want to be with you, my love. Oh, oh,
oh. Shout out Tiger in the chat. What's going on, Tiger? Good job, Roller. Good job.
OMW, on my way to you.
Shout out Tyler Hagner. What's going on, Tyler? Welcome.
Watch me walk away, putting myself on display. 1, 2, 3 a day. I'm on my way. I'ma have you on tiptoes, watching my diamond afterglow. I know you wanna take me home. I'm on my way. OMW.
Lady Veronica, welcome. Black Superman. Da-da-da-da. What's going on, Black Superman? John Luke, what's going on? Happy Friday to you as well. Jamila, welcome. Environmental Coffee House, what's up there?
On my way.
Brian West, what's going on? Roller, tell me about it. It has been a week.
Catch me on Insta, I'm verified.
From Angle Say from Hell, but it's been a week.
I'm on my way to the best thing that you've ever seen. You know that you bow to the queen. You lose all your senses and reason. I'll give you
Jam Doom, hey Jam, how you doing?
OMW, on my way to you. Good at what I do. I'm OMW.
Ladder Hack, what's up, Ladder Hack? Good to see you.
Good at what I do. I'm OMW.
Damn, that's what Rebecca would say.
OMW, nothing left to prove. So enjoy the view, taking a picture like Malibu. I'ma have you on tiptoes, watching my diamond afterglow. I know you wanna take me home. I'm on my way.
She said we're gonna have you on tiptoes while you watch my diamond afterglow. I better get into that. Absolute sleep. What's going on? San Diego, Joe, welcome. Jam Doom is okay. We just came back like last week, Jam, so it's all right. I mean, but no, yes. I mean, oh, Jam, don't let that happen again, please. So yes, I've been told that I have the body of a porn star. Yep, that's right. You heard it. The body of a porn star. All my clothes say XXXX. Y'all stay tuned, man. Make sure you like, share the stream. Let's break the algorithm, y'all. The algorithm. I can't even talk. Total porn star, like David said. I know. Already.
Can't take my eye off you.
Summer Lynn, what's going on, Summer? Welcome.
Don't got nothing on you. My heart is ready for something I have been had in a long time. True love crime, I hope you know that it may hurt.
Well, welcome. The Easter was good. Mama got me my Easter basket. She did. I got my Easter basket. Yep, David. I like it. I love it. Betty Veronica, welcome. Jamila, how you doing? Ooh, I promise y'all. I promise. Like Sierra. New music is coming soon.
Driving dick, watch a movie. Right by your side on duty. Not too much or too sweet. Ooh, passion from yours truly. Let me know how you feel. Hope I'm not in too deep. Be what Phoebe, we die fever. Won't be alone forever. Get through the storm together. Ooh, girl, make some room. I know you still nice, sweet.
Shut up.
Like cocoa bread. You're nice, sweet.
I swear I crack my own self up sometimes. So, to interrupt the song for a minute, did y'all know that Spider-Man has a winter jacket made entirely out of Mediterranean flatbread? It's Peter Parker. Peter Parker. I'm going right to hell. I know I am. Lateef, what's going on, brother Lateef? Brian West, that's right. You can't laugh hard at yourself. Then what the hell can you laugh at? You know? Y'all know y'all love me, man. Shut the hell up. John Luke, what's going on? What y'all say? Y'all want another one? Sure. It's a shame nothing is made in this country anymore. I just bought a TV and on the box it said built-in antenna. To be perfectly honest, I don't even know what that is. I don't. I mean, what the hell?
Just wanna be a mini me. Just wanna be a mini me.
Brian, gotta make myself choke. Brian, I love y'all too. Nicole Laculo, what's going on, Nicole? Welcome. Y'all make sure that y'all like, share the stream, man. Let's get those views up. Let's break the algorithm. Y'all make good to see everyone as well tonight as well too. Make sure y'all stay tuned. Like it or not, it's starting up. Yay!
Now we don't even know you. Your hometown we don't even go to. Trying to get it worldwide global. Looking I can show you. Been killing this is O2. Skrilla, the whole Mandela. Life so free, can't no man kill him. Came from the bottom, was a broke man. Ghetto still move like 10 man with no found window. Boom. Pardon me, I get hectic. Boom. I survive through the wreckage.
Where's Juan, Jonathan? Shout out Jonathan in the building. What's going on, Jonathan? Good to see you. Stardust Mirror.
Too much game for your league. I'm Hussein with Steve on Hussein on beats.
Where do the Naga hide? Out where the Velcro. I can't stand you, Stardust. What's going on? Lateef, good to see you, sir.
Just wanna be a mini me. All these just wanna be a mini me. All these just wanna be a mini me. Feeling me, enemy. All these just wanna be a mini me. All these just wanna be a mini me. All these just wanna be a mini me. Feeling me, enemy. All these just wanna be a mini me. All these just wanna be a mini me. All these just wanna be a mini me.
Amber Layla, welcome, Amber. KFC, what's going on, Kev? Welcome. Peter Parker. My wife is threatening to leave me because of my obsession with acting like a TV news anchor. More on this after the break.
Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in the cage, I'ma let out the wake up, get out the sheets. We came for one man, forget that peace. You take the west side, take on the east. I'ma put them in the cage, never let out the I hear chat to the noise, move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear chat with the boys, man so tough, but man keep walking. Just a shot with the boys, white girls gotta tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pine. If you wanna touch now, please use caution.
Nat A, welcome, Nat. Resolver, hey, Resolver.
Stop it. Jungle up in the trees. I got a few tricks up in the sleeve. One wrong move, I'ma let out the big shoes, check out the crease. Blow like I'm Bigfoot, step on the beat. Make a man's run, tell me step out the case. When I hope they scream, gotta get out there.
I like this song.
I hear him chat with the boys, man so tough, but man's keep walking. Just a shot with the boys, white girls gotta tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pine. If you wanna touch now, please use caution.
The Coffee Man Kid. Welcome, Coffee Man.
Stop it.
Emo Dragon, welcome. How you doing? Yes, if you have not seen Note yet, I would definitely recommend it. It is a good one. Definitely need to have a discussion about it.
Stop that. Stop that.
I have no sense. I just want y'all to know that. I have absolutely zero freaking sense, okay? Yes, Tiger, I feel like I should be playing Cyberpunk right now. Okay, here we go. Dad joke Oh, what do you call a starving hippo in Budapest? A hungry, hungry hippo. I pinned a Rolex to the post just outside my house. It's the neighborhood watch. When my father dies, he wants his ashes pressed into a record. It was his final request. You know what really makes me throw up? A dartboard on the ceiling. What do you call a horny square? In a rectangle? If I'm reading the can he get it out? If I'm reading their lips correctly, my neighbors are arguing about some creepy guy next door. My wife told me I've grown as a person. Her actual words were, "You've gotten fat," but I know what she meant. What did the left butt cheek say to the right butt cheek? If we stick together, we can put a stop to all this shit. Why did the Easter Bunny go to the barber? He had a bad hair day. Why do you go to bed in full armor? It's the best way to get a full night's sleep. My wife asked me what starts with F and ends in K. I said, no, it doesn't. Okay. Last one. If two witches watched two watches, which witch would watch which watch? Each witch would watch which watch belong to which witch's wrist. Boom. Oh my God. Oh man. Wait, last one. My wife always buys cheap toilet paper. It's a pain in the ass.
Stay low key, all gas, no brakes, baby, let them hoes sleep. Body on 10,
like it or not, it's about to go down. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, man. Love y'all, mean it. Oh God. Oh God. Oh man. Spectacular Spider-Man. Bring me one too. I need one. Jam too. I love you too. Oh man. Oh my gosh. Oh man, shout out Mark Saunders in the building. What's going on, Mark? Yes, the O2 mask need to fall down at this point. Okay. All right. Not gonna waste no more time, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. It is time for this damn show to get started, because if not, then I'm gonna keep goddamn going with more dad jokes that you cannot stand. Like this one. My son wanted to know what it's like to be married. I asked him to leave me alone, and when he did, I asked him why he was ignoring me. Like it or not, it's about to go down. 2023. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for Like It or Not. With Rebecca Azure. Let's start this damn show. Yes, it's time for Like It or Not. With Rebecca Azure. Let's start this damn show. Like it or not. Rebecca Azor is in the house. You know she got a funny story to tell. Talking politics, culture, or real life-ish. I live in life in the ATL. Benjamin, yeah, that's my man. He's always coming up with the master plan. Politics, scheming, or trying to find the meaning of life. And while the feds keeps us in strife. I'm your DJ. I really don't need no introduction right now, but you know what? I stay dropping them jams. Y'all know who I am. Good hope, dad jokes, culture-ish, politics. What you're hearing right now was the culmination of all of this. I started out with the mic in my hand, and I graduated to a plethora of fans. I love bringing joy to the people. It makes me feel great, makes me feel regal. I do what I do for you. 8 p.m. Friday, you know how we do. Let's go. It's time for Like It or Not. With Rebecca Azure. Let's start this damn show. Yes, it's time for Like It or Not. Like it or not, y'all. 2023. Let's start this damn show. Let's go.
Like it or not starts now.
Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Good evening and welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth
and not care who doesn't like it.
Listen, man, I actually kind of need you to do one more song, but that's fine. We could bust a move with the show. How you doing, man? Rebecca Zora's not in the place. Is she in the chat room?
Not yet.
Not yet.
But I'm sure she'll pop up after a minute.
So it's just you and I, brother. We got a lot to cover. But before we get into that, shout out to everyone in the chat room. Been, crowd surfing, looking in the crowd, everybody in the chat room. We thank you for what you do to support this show.
Yes.
It just doesn't happen, especially to our patrons, which I forgot to put the link on my patron page. So I need to go do that right now because shame on me. I'd set up all, I had to bring the camera in the kitchen. I had to clean the counters and do everything that I do before the show. Actually, my wife cleaned the counters. Let me not front. But I forgot to put the link on. So yeah, give me a second. Or actually, David, if you could do that for me. I don't know if you still have all my logins, but we'll get that up in a second. Shout out to the Like It or Not patrons as well. DJ Exclusive, man. You've been rocking the show so far, man. What's going on with all the dad jokes?
I felt like it had been a while. So, I just had to get it out my system. And clearly it was a lot.
Yeah, man.
I still got some more.
Yeah, no. Well,
look, there was one that said, it says, when your friend becomes a dad, but you're the one that knows all the dad jokes.
That's my testimony. Because I got 3. I'm just going to do it while we talk. I can multitask.
Right.
I got 3 kids, and I don't know nearly. Actually, I don't know, maybe 5 dad jokes, James. So you've got the entire catalog. Give us one more. Give us one more while I finish posting this link.
I would tell y'all the secret, but it'll cost you. Let's see. Here we go. I'm terrified of random letters. You know why?
LMA.
Wait, I kind of messed up that. Well, never mind. Just cancel that. But don't worry about it.
Okay. One more.
I didn't think I was fat. So the woman at McDonald's said, "Sorry about your weight."
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. I feel I identify with that particular
Ben.
Yeah.
People say that circumcision doesn't hurt, but I disagree. I was circumcised when I was born, and I couldn't walk for over a year.
Folks, we do talk about serious business here on the Like It or Not show here at the Benjamin Dixon Show channel, but it's Friday night, and we just don't care, to be honest with you. Okay. Lance from the Surfs is going to be coming to join us in a few minutes at about 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be talking about something, leftist independent media. Mm-hmm. I think it's important what's going on with TYT and the perceived shift. Y'all excuse my kids. They're gonna kid. They're gonna do what they do. You hear them in the background through the entire episode. But he'll be joining us. In the meantime, I want to start with Clarence Thomas. Because I'm low-key impressed that a black man could get away with this level of crime in this country and not be in jail, or at a minimum not be impeached. Because had Barack Obama done like just 0.1, no, I'm going to use 0.5% on purpose. If Barack Obama had done 0.5% of what Clarence Thomas did, he would be in jail right now. He would have been indicted. He would have been impeached, the whole 9. We're talking about Clarence Thomas's relationship with a mega Republican donor, billionaire, who for 25, 30 years, this relationship has yielded expensive trips and vacations, family vacations, trips on private jets. And we're just discovering that Clarence Thomas even sold his mother's house to this very same billionaire Republican donor. Now, here's the problem. Clarence Thomas did not disclose any of this. I do all this talking and I didn't even push publish. on this link for my patrons. Patrons, y'all know how much I love you. Please forgive me. I don't even know how to segue back. Anyway, Clarence Thomas, I digress. That's it. I digress. Clarence Thomas sold his mama's house to this billionaire and did not disclose any of this to on his disclosure statements to be a part of the Supreme Court. Or basically, if you're an elected official, if you're a judge, if you're appointed, you have to make financial disclosures. And if you don't make those disclosures, then that is definitely, in this case with Clarence Thomas, an impeachable offense. At least that's what Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez had to say that earlier today. Let's take a look at the clip from AOC, as she's one of the many people, but she's the leading voice calling on Clarence Thomas to be impeached.
After new ProPublica report this week revealed that he accepted luxury vacations from a Republican billionaire donor without disclosing them. Thomas is now defending himself, and here's what he's saying. He's saying, quote, "Early in my tenure at the court, I sought guidance from my colleagues and others in the judiciary and was advised that this sort of personal hospitality from close personal friends who did not have business before the court was reportable." Was not reportable, rather. What is your response?
I think that his own statement contradicts many of the facts on the ground and also raises in other ways even more serious questions. Later on in his statement, he stated that the reason and the rationale for this exemption was personal hospitality from an old friend. And he said himself in his statement, a friend of 25 years. Justice Thomas has been on the court for 30 years. So to say what he is admitting in his statement in an attempt to defend himself is that he began this relationship with a billionaire and receiving these sorts of gifts after he was appointed to the Supreme Court of the United States. I think that in and of itself indicates a very, very serious problem. And then on top of that, he is now implicating his colleagues. And I do believe that Chief Justice John Roberts must now come forward and state if he allows and is allowing this kind of very serious corruption to happen on this court. I think, when it comes to Justice Thomas's statement, when he's talking about his colleagues and when he's talking about who advised him to break the law, I think we need to know who those people are.
Yeah, so let me correct myself. She didn't directly call him to be impeached here, but the conversation now is clearly the impeachment of Clarence Thomas, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas.
Let's go.
DJ Exclusive, man. Like, did you think, do you understand when I say that I'm low-key impressed that he gets away with this? Like, I've never seen a black man be able to get away with this level of corruption, and then and watch what he does. He really pulled. If Clarence Thomas wanted to be a white man growing up, I think he's achieved it, because he has committed these acts of corruption over the last 30 years or 25 years. And then when he's called on it, he said, "Oops, my bad," and then just goes on like nothing's going to happen to him.
He forgot that he a black man.
Come on, man.
He forgot he a black man. So at this point, I hope he gets everything that's coming to him, because he's honestly a piece of crap, for lack of a better word, that I won't say on this Beyonce's internet. But I'm glad that finally something. I just hope and pray something happens out of this, where he is removed or impeached, because I'm sick of seeing his face.
Yeah, and to be certain, Clarence Thomas is one. We should have listened to Anita Hill. Let's start there. Let's go all the way back to Anita Hill. This is what happens when you don't listen to black women. Now, not all black women. You don't want to listen to Candace Owens. Silk and Diamond. I'm sorry, you can't really listen to Diamond anymore, but I digress. God bless the dead. But when you don't listen to most black women who really do know, Anita Hill testified years ago about the character flaws of this man. And, good old Joe Biden led the charge against her. And so here we have now Clarence Thomas, who over the last 30 years that he's been on the bench has been the bane of not only the Black community, but progress in general. He is the crown jewel of Uncle Ruckusry, if I can create a word. He is the crown jewel of white supremacy. He sits atop the throne of American history, not just American present, but American history as the greatest servant of white supremacy. And I think that's why he gets away with this.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, Uncle Ruckus.
Uncle Ruckusry. That's a hard one.
I like it though. It's very accurate.
Uncle Ruckusry. Oh man. Like obviously the Boondocks. Listen, and it's easy to call him an Uncle Ruckus, right? But there is a vein of Blackness that exists in this country, on this planet, that will 100% align with white supremacy because they desire power and they don't care what they have to do to get power. People like Clarence Thomas and Candace Owens and what's the we two big guys, but what's the bigger guy? When a guy is bigger than you, you could call him fat. Jason Whitlock, that hungry brother. I've never seen someone with such an insatiable hunger for white supremacy as that toupee wearing. But what it is though is that they align with power. They don't care what they have to do to get it. They want the same power that they see white men have, instead of saying that that's a power structure that needs to be brought down. Okay, hang on a second. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Well, bring on the she's not the queen of this house. But she's the queen of the left, if you ask me.
Ole!
Hey, Ole.
Because I don't have my mic and stuff like I usually do.
Yeah. Hey, drop that lower third so we can see her. I could put me on the bottom and bring her.
I'm about to say, put me on the bottom and let Ole shine. I'm over here my computer has shut down on me like 3 times right now. So I'm just like over here trying to multitask and everything. So good. We good.
I told David I could not make it tonight because I'm in Florida. I'm supposed to be. I'm at a like a convention for creators, but I'm antisocial. Out in the lobby, like I said, my friend, I was like, yeah, I'll catch up with you. I was like, go click this link and go do the show.
Hey, listen, that's our game. That's our game. Listen, thank you for coming through. You are on the scene right now for many, many, many things. But your video. Go ahead.
They made me the topic of conversation against my will. Okay, man, it is not my choice.
Well, we're going to get to that part. How long do we have you?
You have me. I'm not trying to go hang out. I have to be here in 10 minutes. I do not want to go. People's friend. I'm at a YouTube creator convention. I think it's what is it called? Creator Clash. I went with my friend who is TikTok famous. I was a last minute invite. I don't think any Black content creators were on the bill.
Wow. I didn't even know it existed.
Exactly. Right. Oh, it is a room full of YouTube famous white people who I never heard of. Isn't it something that we all exist on two sides of the internet? Because there's millions of subscribers and I do not know these people.
It is two different worlds.
Yeah, I was like, I'm the biggest personality in this room. It is awkward and uncomfortable. Let me come back up to my hotel room and mind my business.
Sorry, y'all. Sorry.
Oh, I thought okay. So,
Mama calling me.
Mama Gwen, we're trying to do a show, Mama.
We're trying to do a show, Mama.
We're trying to do a show, Mama. Ole, you came in just after I got through talking about Clarence Thomas. You have a video
episode today.
That is your episode. I shared it. What are your thoughts about this really powerful Black man for the use and the tool of white supremacy?
Listen, first of all, let me just say I'm not surprised. Nothing about Clarence Thomas surprises me. Nothing unethical about Clarence Thomas surprises me. The first thing anybody ever learned about Clarence Thomas as even a potential Supreme Court justice was unethical. It's always so. Nothing about that surprises me. And I think what's worse is the fact that we all know nothing's going to happen. We know that. Like in a different world, it should drive inherent scrutiny. The idea that the whole purpose of giving Supreme Court justices a lifetime tenure is because they're meant to appear impartial. They're meant to not be like how our politicians are with political party allegiances. The idea is they're not supposed to kowtow to party pressures. But the man has been for 25 years, not just taken, and I think, the media will try to make it seem like, oh, he just took a few trips with his friend. No, sweetie. This person does not predate his being on the Supreme Court.
That's right.
Clarence Thomas has been on the Supreme Court for 30 years. He's been friends with this man for 25.
Mm-hmm.
So this man started giving him expensive trips, blah, 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 once he was in the Supreme Court. And it's important to remember, Clarence Thomas knows what he's doing, because in 1997, Harlan Crow, Clarence Thomas actually did disclose 3 gifts from Harlan Crow. He disclosed a trip from Harlan Crow. He disclosed a $19,000 Bible from Frederick Douglass that Harlan Crow bought him. That's a whole other thing to analyze, child. But a $19,000 Frederick Douglass Bible and a $15,000 Abraham Lincoln bust. When he disclosed those in 1997, in 2004, it came out in an article that he got a lot of flack, and so he stopped reporting it. He knows the rules, so he knows it. Evidenced by the fact that, one, he's obligated as the Supreme Court justice, as somebody sitting on the highest court in the land. As an attorney, I can tell you, you're required to know your judicial and ethical requirements. Ignorance is never an excuse for breaking the law. He knows that. But more importantly, we know he knows because he's reported it before. And when he reported it, he didn't like the criticism he got. And it's not just that. It's not just trips. It's not just like it's not just the appearance of impropriety. Harlan Crow has paid for a documentary to be made in Clarence Thomas. He has paid $105,000 to Yale for funds to be made in his honor. Harlan Crow is on record as saying that he and his wife have endorsed and financed many Clarence Thomas projects because, quote unquote, it's important for people to know what he stands for, what his ideals are, and what his legacy are. So you think those are unrelated? On top of that, Harlan Crow has paid and pays the salary of Clarence Thomas's wife.
That's
he
right.
gave over $500,000 to a foundation started by Ginny Thomas, who herself is under investigation for her role in the insurrection.
Mm-hmm.
And then he paid her $120,000 salary. So what are the odds, do you think? Or a Republican mega donor that is financing the salary for his wife, paying for his documentary, paying for his legacy to be upheld at his alma mater, flying him out, baby, like a city girl every single 25
He
years.
got flued out. Oh my
Flued
God.
out.
He got flued out.
Put out. Do you know it's important to listen? And I wanted to emphasize this. I love jokes, but do you know what it means to be in a painting? Ben, Bubba, I'm sure y'all are best friends. Do they have a painting of you
Nah.
at the crib?
Nah.
At the crib? Have you
Hell
been
no.
so many times? Have you been?
Wait. This didn't register right. Who has a painting of whom in their
Harlan
crib?
Crow has a painting at
Mhm.
Top Ridge, which is this big fancy estate he has in Mar-a-Lago, where Clarence Thomas kicks it every summer.
Oh, and he has a picture of Clarence Thomas in his crib.
Painted.
Is it
All of them hanging out at the
is
estate.
it next to the Nazi memorabilia?
Yes.
Is it next to the all the, because I forgot when you said Harlan Crow, it just reminded me, oh, I do know about this guy because he is a prolific collector of Nazi heirlooms and memorabilia. You know, it's does Clarence Thomas really have no conscience in terms of like your best friend is a Nazi. You don't buy Nazi stuff.
Look at this. Ooh.
And hold all of these Nazi ideas and not be a Nazi. But here Clarence Thomas is taking a photo with him and getting trips and has his mother's house purchased.
Listen, Clarence Thomas is a disgrace. And we knew that. We knew that well. We knew that 25 years ago. We've been
right.
But it's really, you know, I was actually thinking about this with my friends. We were talking about this, me and my best friend, because it's really, we're both lawyers, both Black lawyers. And it's really a disappointment to think that somebody would spend their entire life cooning. Just the entire
life.
Like that man is going to die as an expert advanced level coon.
Exquisite cooning.
You look up coon in the dictionary.
I can't imagine what it means to be best friends kicking it. Imagine kicking it surrounded by white supremacists.
Oh my God. That's the thing. Like, do you have how do you have zero connection with your ancestors, with your Blackness, just such that you will literally sit across the table with Nazis? Oh, wait a minute. We're going to talk about that later when I talk about the homophobia in the Black church. Never mind. I correct myself. Go ahead, Ole.
Listen, Clarence is unbelievable. He blows minds. I really, like nothing Clarence Thomas does surprises me, but it's very important. I think, it's worth saying. There's certain things you want to point out to people because, like, in order for them to get to the positions that you have, they have to recognize other things about the world. And so for me, it's not about, it's not shocking. Everybody knows, everybody Black with half a conscience. You don't even got to be conscious for true, like half conscious. And you know that Clarence Thomas is shucking and jiving. We all know it. That's not news to nobody. I wasn't shocked, but I think the magnitude of it is something worth seeing. I think because it's just look at it. I mean, embarrassing, man, like embarrassing, just truly embarrassing what the man is, and he's so fundamentally dishonest. I think that's what's also so jarring. And to throw up like, oh, I took advice from, I asked people at one more time, and and they said I didn't have to report things to my friend. The rules explicitly stated.
That's right.
Stated, and he knows it because he's disclosed it before. Like, there's no way. Imagine I tell y'all, hey, I wore this neon green top, and now y'all tell me the neon green top is ugly, so I never tell y'all again that I wear a neon green top. And then the next time y'all find out that I be out hanging out in my neon green top, I'd be like, oh, I didn't know y'all thought that was ugly. No, no, I did know. Y'all told me. So I kept it cute. I kept it quiet. So like that's exactly what it is. My man is a shame. Like it's just it is a shame. And I think what it doesn't get emphasized enough. Everybody's playing up like the Nazi memorabilia, but for me, what I think stood out for me more is the donations to Yale, because Clarence. Let me just tell you what kind of coon Clarence Thomas is. Clarence Thomas is a coon that he believes the anti-Blackness about his own self. Clarence Thomas, he could be many things, but I'll never suggest that the man is uneducated or didn't deserve to be at Yale or something. But he let these white people convince him of that, right? Because he treats Clarence Thomas is such a coon that he treats things as a fact so much that it confuses me. I had to remind myself the other day when Clarence Thomas was like, when you hear him talk about why he had a problem with the fact that he got into Yale on affirmative action, you will think the way he says that as a fact, you would think his admission letter said, you go in here on affirmative action. I had to remind myself that it doesn't work like that. Like no one told him that, but he let them make him believe that, right? So Clarence Thomas, I don't know if y'all notice, this is a little, if you're in law school, you have this lore, everybody knows. Clarence Thomas is known for saying that his Yale degree was worthless. He put like a 50-cent sticker or some nonsense like that on it because he was like, it's not worth anything because everybody believed that he was there because of affirmative action. And it's so interesting how cooning works. Rather than recognize the structure of white supremacy or how these racists believe that you don't belong and rebut against that, instead he decides to join them and be upset at institutions or structures or anything that's put in place to help other Black people come there. So anyway, so after he gets his degree at Yale, he puts his little 50-cent stick or whatever he puts on it. And then after that, he's like, I'm against affirmative action, because basically what he says, his whole maliciousness, let me tell you what it is to be a coon. Rather than be upset at the white people who believe that he's inherently inferior, that don't give him his credit, that don't acknowledge his intelligence or his success, he mad at other Black people. He mad at systems in place to balance out the system. He's like, I'm mad at affirmative action because it's made these white people not believe that I deserve to be here. Listen here, you idiot coon. They don't believe that you belong to be there because they're racist, you fool. They wouldn't believe that regardless, you dumb. Like, what are you talking about? And so instead, and this is what pisses me off, that was his mentality for so long. That man been out of school for decades. That's the story and the narrative he pushes, right? For why you want to close the door behind. Why you?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Need to turn around and have this mega Republican billionaire donate $105,000 to Yale to create something in your honor. So hold on. So wait, let me get this right. You against affirmative action? You trying to stop Black people from going there, but you need something to honor you there. The man is a shameless coon. And that's the only reason why I feel the need to emphasize him, because it's important to know how long corruption has lasted and how long times have turned, because I think about that, right? Like Clarence Thomas has been getting away with this for 25 years.
Yeah. And he tried to pull a slick one, saying, he got guidance at the beginning of his tenure, which was 30 years ago. But this relationship started after he became a Supreme Court justice. if I'm not mistaken. And actually, no, that's what we just listened to on the clip from AOC.
He admitted, and AOC emphasized that point. AOC called for his resignation, and she emphasized the point that she said in his own statement, attempting to defend himself, he admits that he's been friends with Harlan Crow. As his excuses, I didn't believe I had to disclose things that I got in a personal friendship, and I've been friends with this man for 25 years. You've been on the court for 30. So what you're telling us is that you met a Republican mega donor billionaire 5 years after becoming the Supreme Court justice, and he been giving you bread this whole time.
Your sugar daddy all this time.
Sugar daddy, straight.
Y'all feel me?
Harlan Crow has been the sugar daddy for this black man for 25 years.
And if David has the pictures, I'll show you why he the sugar daddy too. When David get the pictures, I swear, oh Lord, I will.
Wait a minute. I don't know what these pictures are.
I don't think he has them ready yet, but yeah, I'm sure he'll let us know when. Because
we're gonna be joined.
There we go, right there.
Oh, we got him. Oh Lord, what is this?
Please welcome to the stage the Supreme Court's Empress of Embarrassment, Coretta Corrupta. How can a government employee afford such looks? Easy, vicious bankroll by a billionaire. Finally, the High Court is serving high fashion Henny.
I'm not gonna argue. This isn't even shade. This is not shade. This is a joke. But this person right here that they have made up in these AI as a job, way better than Clarence.
Yes, when I tell you they have this Instagram called Republicans.
Look at his skin. Clarence Thomas' skin could never. He wish.
Could never.
This person is glowing.
Popping. Like when I saw that, I was like, "Is this supposed to be a diss?" Because this person is way more popular.
Look, and when I tell you they have some of everybody on there, and I'm just like, "Oh, they look too goddamn good." Because some of these people, all these people don't look that good. Because
I saw that.
Oh my god.
He wish. These people wish they looked good.
Oh my god. So when I said sugar daddy, man, that was the perfect setup for that. Oh my god.
It was, man. I love when the plans come together.
When it comes together, man. Shoot. Listen, Ole, later on, we're going to be joined by your co-host over there at Leftist Mafia.
Here. They said David have lads.
Oh, we have him. He's already here. Bring on Lance from the Surfs. Friend of the show.
Hi, friends. How's it going?
Man?
I'm glad to be here. Lance, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm at a
you just dipped out. What?
Lance, a full-on complaint list. I was like, Lance, I hate it here. I was like, I'm like, Lance, oh my god, I'm the only black person here.
Oh wow. Lance,
yeah, that was right. I thought they were fighting each other. I was like even if you don't like any of them, even if they're all just like wankers, they're about to beat the shit out of each other. So that's gonna be funny to see, right? Like even if you hate them, they're about to beat the fuck out of each other. So that's gonna be fun.
It's why I would definitely love to be there, because I'm just like all of that energy in the room. I'm like, somebody's gonna fight, and I'm just gonna sit there and eat my popcorn.
I'm studying white people in the wild, right? That's what it feels like, right? I'm getting my PhD on white people this weekend, right? And I swear to you, I'm really into doing research because I was having a whole combo with my friend. This, right? I really observed this.
Well, welcome to the stage, doctor of whiteness. Not whiteness. No. Of white people.
I thought that was my title. Isn't that what you brought me on? Am I not the token? What's going on?
Oh my God. No. We have one better.
My token. I literally was like, oh, can I have your co-host? I was like, get Lance.
Lance, I don't want you to feel.
I will be able to explain what is going on with the white community. That's why I'm here, and I'm proud to be able to represent them. Like, we're having a crisis, okay? Things are out of control.
Oh my gosh!
Oh man!
I was trying to tell Lance this, right? Because I was trying to be fair and acknowledge it, right, on two things. So what I noticed is this. So black content creators, when black people are public figures or content creators, I notice it's the most like extroverted among us. I feel like when you meet black people that are become public figures, they're the most personable people you know.
Yeah.
White content creators, they're the most awkward people you've ever met.
What? That's a thing? I didn't know that. Ooh,
yes.
Wow. Okay, this is news to me.
That's actually great. And that, I mean, that's
full of wallflowers. Like, I'm telling you, it's like a room full of wallflowers. Whereas every Black content creator I know is like another big personality. Everybody, like the Bens, the Rebeccas, the Bubbas, the everybody, the Charlemagnes, the Mark Lamont Hills, everybody's big. Every white content creator you meet in real life is like shrinks immediately. Like they're like, you know, they get real. I walked into a
I did not know this.
with 1.7 million subscribers tonight, y'all, and I was like, real. I'm like, first of all, I'm lying because I don't even know this man. I don't know none of these white people. Right? But just like, you know, I'm being supportive to my white friend I'm with, so I'm capping. I don't know none of these people. Like, I walk up and I'm like, hey, I'm subscribed. Now, mind you, like just for context, it ain't like I walked up to this man in the middle of the bush. We are at a content creator convention. He has every reason to believe everybody here is gonna know you off your YouTube. You have 1.7 million subscribers. I walked up to this man and I was like, hey, big fan of your YouTube. I said follow because that's how much you know a bitch is lying. I said follow. Like I follow your YouTube. So I say it, and this man looked at me like this. He was like, he looked like this, like he never had a. I was like, I don't know what's going on. I know he never had a Black fan. I know what's up. And you can't even jump on the man, right? Because I'm like, this man ain't never had a Black fan, and maybe he hasn't because he's lying, right? Like I'm not a real fan. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I text Lance. I'm like, Lance, these white people are so awesome.
Wait. Ole, were you were texting your white friend to get a better understanding of what's going on around?
Exactly.
I'm
And that's what I was here for. All right. I'm the
I'm
Clorox of white people. I speak for the white people.
Just stop.
I'm about to leave, y'all. None of y'all on the screen.
Wait. Lance, this is not how I pictured your first time coming on my show. Bro.
Right.
You know, we have our token white guy producing.
Okay.
I'm so proud to be a pick-me right now. I have such amazing allies. This is so wondrous. This is so good. Thank you. It's the great allies to
No. I'm joking.
This man, though, I really
love you. Matter of fact,
all the time. I'm like, no, that's my boy. Today, I'm like, hey. I'm like, this is good. Y'all follow that.
Matter of fact, I just want to be sure we have David. We have David to thank for this, for reaching out and bringing you all on.
He's also a good white person.
Yes. So
he get out of line sometimes, but he good people. I think he got a little Black in him sometimes, but he good people.
With all the woke white folks of the world unite. That's what we need there. Anyway,
I'm sorry. This is probably a serious show. It's my first time on here. I'm loving it. I'm having such a great time. This is an absolute blast. Okay. But if you're talking serious, I didn't want to come in out of nowhere and just start losing.
Just a white man on my screen. Like, listen, man. No, here we go. Listen, I want to talk about something that I don't listen. I watched the show last night, Leftist Mafia on Thursday nights. You guys are hilarious. And I saw the conversation about what's going on with TYT. I've been following it on Twitter. I don't really want to ask you guys to go through all that again, right? We don't have to talk about it again unless you just want to. I just want to ask you this question, and feel free to go wherever you want to go in the conversation. For those who may or may not know, TYT is kind of they're moving in the wrong direction on a couple of issues, and I'll leave space for you all to fill in the blanks because I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth. But here's what concerns me, and this is what I've been thinking about nonstop over the last 3-4 days. Is there any surprise that we literally do not have a solidly progressive media outlet at the level of TYT or better functioning at this particular moment in history when the number one war being waged against America is a psyops led by conservative media?
No, and I'm going to tell you why. I'll let Lance talk after me, but no, it's not a surprise because there are very few Black voices on leftist internet media in general. Right. And I don't think there's enough of a distinguishment made in general. There is no distinguishment made between the white left and the Black left, and they are fundamentally different. And if that was even acknowledged, you would recognize how few Black voices there even are in the space. And I think what is the internet white left to some degree has been developed is pre-existing. Like TYT is from a time of before that is not representative of what we consider like the leftist view today. They are marginally liberal, and that's cute and that's fine, and everybody has their space and everybody exists. But no, to me it's not surprising, because that's the majority of what we have. Like the majority of the voices that are there. I mean, yeah, right? Because I can't think of, if I off the top of the dome, right? If I'm a black leftist voice, I can't think of a bunch of others, right? I'm like, oh, Rebecca Zor, y'all, where we're here on this one network. And I'm thinking of Derek Purnell, who's not a political commentator. Derek Purnell is a voice and a journalist and an abolitionist lawyer, but she's not a commentator. Can you all name a bunch of others? I know Mark Lamont Hill.
That's how small it is.
There is right now a really, really cool like surge of leftist black content creators on YouTube that I've found is taking off right now. Like shout out to FT Signify, for example, and Foreign Man and Foreign Land. They're just like, they're producing straight bangers after bangers. I love listening to their stuff. But yeah, Ben, honestly, do you want to know what my opinion on this is?
Yeah,
I'm confused. I'm so I don't, it doesn't make sense. Like, honestly, if I'm being completely rational and honest with myself, there's only two paths here. One, it has to be by design. You've got to be like consciously doing it, which is the sad reality that none of us want to accept, because we love like the good things that TYT has done. That's why I had to sing so many praises and give caveats and stuff like that. And even Olayemi, who's been catching a lot of anger about this, started by saying, "Anna, I love you." Those were the first words. "Anna, I love you." She would never say that. I mean, when she comes back, she can correct me on this, but I don't think she would ever say that towards people who she actively hates and despises and doesn't respect and reviles. Right? Like when you don't respect another person, you don't come at it from a place of love. That's it, and that's just the way that most people who are honest about this operate. So I don't know what's going on. I genuinely so when I'm genuine, like it doesn't make sense.
Well,
it's sad.
Let me throw my conspiracy theory here. I like TYT. I've done some work with them for a couple of months, and we parted ways for reasons. I don't have an NDA with them, but it's not worth bringing up. I just brought it up to say that I really like them still, for the most part. I like John. That's my boy. I like John.
Yeah, John's
maybe the main show. Because the main show has been making a couple of decisions in terms of what they believe politically that is problematic to me. The targeting of homeless people, and I say targeting because they
propaganda like all the time.
We're in an era where like there are certain signifiers that show me where you stand on some things, and that and people have the right to be concerned because of this, because people have poured money into TYT for over a decade.
Yeah.
And so if now at the most critical moment in, honestly, American history, they're flaking over this particular issue, and we don't have another major, name another major progressive media outlet besides Democracy Now! And TYT. That's what at that level that has the ability to cut through the national conversation and impact the national discourse the way any conservative media company does. And a lot of progressives have poured money into TYT to be that network.
We have like one Hassan Piker who gets the level of 30,000 style views and who's like, an outspoken leftist. That's it. There are so many right wingers. I have seen their shows and their numbers that just, it's mind boggling. Like Tim Pool gets 60,000 to 100,000 live viewers. Tim Pool, right? And the man is like, he's a fool and gets these kind of numbers. So it's like you do need to have a voice that comes from the opposite direction that is able to push back. And like, Ben, you're so right. Why now? Of all, like, have you seen what is happening in the United States? Did you see what went down today in Missouri? Like, this is fucked up. Like, they are actively pushing legislation right now that is directly targeting trans people in such a way that it will not let them exist. Like, that's what we should be united against. This is what we should be fighting for. They have turned them into the culture war centerpiece, to the fact that right now today, Bud Light apparently had to issue an apology. Like, Bud Light, they backed down. They issued an apology, and it's like, Why now are we doing this? And this is why it truly confuses me, because I know they agree with this take. I know they agree with Olayemi's take, because we've seen it. We've seen, like, the receipts are there. You can see it out there, right? Like,
and I think that makes them worse. And I think that's the thing that people are not prepared to accept and concede to. I mean, listen, this is the reality, right? And I want to be clear. It's not about dunking on TYT. It's not that I think that they shouldn't exist or that people shouldn't listen to them or anything like that. Listen, people have different arenas. I think that people are going to have an array of views, and you could get things from where you get them. And I'm not somebody who has any interest in like being like, oh, you shouldn't listen to them or take that from you. But I will say this. They're not as simply true. They're just not as progressive as people have been led to believe. And that's just the truth. And I say this why, because I didn't know who they are. I did not get my political education from YouTube. I know there are people who, and I have a co-host and people I really respect.
I'm not a lifelong TYT fan.
I got my political education from YouTube. I got it from college. I got it from law school. I got it from education. I got it from self-learning. I got it from books. I got it from actual political leaders and scholars and activists and these kinds of people, right? And the thing that I've realized is since learning about TYT, every single thing that has come out of their mouth has been incredibly fucking problematic. Every single thing that I've learned from them since that I've discovered them, which was last year when they covered me, I found out from them has been problematic. And in the course of that, I've tried to show grace, because my personal stance is, I think I don't want to call it infighting, because I don't see myself as existing in their same sphere, but I think that is just not useful with my time. But then when people will tell you, when you try to criticize them, substantively criticize them for the things that you need to, that they're doing present day, people will be like, oh, well, their track record. And then you look back at their track record and it's fucked up there too. And I think it's something that people need to recognize is like, listen, all the people that you learn from, all the people that I've learned from existed during this time period, right? All the Angela Davises, all the Huey Newtons, all the Stokely Carmichaels, all these people existed. So all the beliefs and the things that I'm learning from always existed. Right. I think it's important to contend with the fact that these people were never as progressive or as educated or the scholars or the leaders that you thought they were, period. You just didn't know any better. That's what you had. Those are the leaders that you leaned on. And that's cool. And that's fine, right? But the problem becomes when you herald, and I've said this before, and Lance knows this. I say this on our show all the time. I think there is a mistake of taking what our media commentators or taking what our commentators and treating them as political leaders or as movement leaders.
Yeah.
And I think that is
we're entertainers on the internet. Like we got to be real about that. Yeah. Like that is what we are.
And I about my own self, and I've said that I've been on an RBN interview. I've said that don't call me nobody's revolutionary, and I'm probably even more than that, maybe than some of the people that see themselves as that, and I'm not that. I'm a harm reductionist at best, and it's important that you recognize that. You know what I mean? Like, these are commentators, people of views, people of political ideologies and whatnot, but they are not nobodies. They're not out here changing the world. And when you get that kind of ego on you, it becomes unreal. You know what I mean? And that's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing, an inability to adapt with the times that make you. The status quo is the status quo because it's pervasive. It's always been there. So I'm not saying that there wasn't a time period where they were so radical from maybe the status quo that they became that they seemed so left or what it is or blah blah blah. But what I'm saying is, if you were always informed, if you were always educated to the full array of the political spectrum, there's no way you could have been educated by Black leftists and think that these people were so incredibly There's no way. There's just absolutely no way. And I think that is a true recognition of what our space is, because what happens is when you carve out these arenas with these people that are not that left, but you appoint them as the most leftist, or you know, the quasi kings and queens of the left, and you create this this atmosphere where everybody kind of has to exist in this ecosystem. And that's true, right? Because I myself I didn't sign up to be in this ecosystem. I didn't sign myself to be up in this world, but somehow I am, right? Because that's what it is.
I kind of pulled you into it a little bit.
Yeah, right.
I gotta take a little bit of credit for that.
Right? Well, listen, Ole, let me jump.
I've introduced Olayemi to so many white, conservative figures she had no idea about.
I was wondering how Ole ended up on a show with nothing but white folks. I'll be honest.
Right. How the hell did that happen?
I mean, maybe we didn't put the invitation out soon enough, Bubba, because we had this old black.
Okay, look.
Say that all the time. But
just gotta be quicker than that.
People will say that all the time. They will be like, "Oh, how did you when we first decided to launch?" People said that. We got a lot of those comments of like, "I don't know what Olay's doing with these group and with these people and with these that." And I think there's
you got a lot of hatred for that.
Yeah, and I could really explain it on a multitude of levels, right? Like one, I think it's important that, like, first of all, I think it is like the right is united, period. Point blank at the end of it.
Yep.
You will never see, this is what I don't like about people, just like they laugh off or they just accept that it's a part of it, that the TY people will go on these right-wing shows and throw the left under the bus. When the hell have you ever seen the right do that? Ever? When has a right wing
regimented over there?
Right? When can we?
NPCs, they just sync up. And here's the thing: if there was a community of people that I'm not a part of that group, right? Say the Black community or the trans community, if a whole bunch of people from within that community are like, you are fighting for liberation, right, Lance? You're on a side. I say yes, I want to fight for these liberation movements, absolutely. And like, this ain't it. This right, what you're doing. I know your heart's in the right place. You know, we're not trying to cancel you. This is not cancel culture. But like, just honestly, right now, this is only helping out this side, and it's the side that doesn't want us to exist. And this is fucked up because it's a crucial time right now, right? Like, there would be such, if one or two trans creators who I respect dropped in my DMs and said one of these things, I would be like, what if all the worst ghouls, the worst transphobic ghouls that have ever walked the face of the earth, if they all started to be like, this is awesome and based, we love you now, look at this is so fun, like, I would be like, oh my god, I fucked up. I fucked up so bad. What's going on?
Let me just say this. That is true in general in a way that pisses me off that no one absorbed. For up until this week, I've made an appointment. Everybody who knows me knows this. I've said this, like, I don't say nothing about this reality of other content creators or what I really think about where they fall in the political spectrum, but I'm going to say this. Your audience is a reflection of who you are and what you espouse. Point blank, the end of it, and that's the truth. I am so sick and tired. There are so many quote unquote leftist leaders and commentators whose entire fucking audience is right wing. Like, if I go on the show, if you are allegedly leftist, there's none of you. If any single one of you go on my show, you're not going to get shitted on. Period. That's just true because I have a leftist audience. Because I'm a leftist, right? If you go on somebody who alleges to be leftist show and all you do is get shitted on for espousing what a general leftist views, that person is not the left. And yet we have so many of those people, and I don't want to say names, but we have a lot of those people. They are the majority of who we consider the loudest voices in the left. And no, they're fucking not. And I think that is the truth about what is true about a lot of our space. We don't have we have a lot of people who are in it for a check, and they're in it for different reasons. And they perpetrate, because in order to get themselves in the room, the best way to market themselves, to brand themselves, is the one leftist in the room. And that happens a lot of times. And my problem is, I don't even mind. I don't care. Do your grift, do your thing. I don't even mind. The problem is they come after the real leftist creators and content and advocates.
They have to.
And create division because they are in it for money and engagement and all these other things. And that's the thing that's so
which is funny. When I heard you say you went on the Revolutionary Black Network, I was like, okay. Anyway, I digress.
I'm staying out of this conversation.
Right, Lance.
Silent for the next segment.
I'm just saying. Listen, let's do it. It's 2023. Anyway, but no. Let's go to something that's actually important, because both of y'all have said stuff. Y'all are saying some critical things in terms of allyship, right? Yeah. And how tightly knitted together the right is. And for people who may just like be out in left field, don't have any idea what's going on, the right, they're playing for keeps, right? They're not playing. When they say they want to overthrow democracy and install a theocracy, like, they really mean that. When Matt Walsh calls himself a theocratic fascist, he really means that. So these folks are really coming after everyone that does not follow and obey the white male Christian order. Do you all agree with that statement?
100%.
Like, for the love of God, listen to them, please. They are screaming this shit right now. This is like, it's not even a secret anymore. It used to be in like the 90s when I was a teenager that all this shit was kind of like, they don't out and proud say these kind of stuff about, say, like, Jewish people, and now they're anti-LGBTQ plus stuff. I'm sorry, but it's like, this is lockstep, like the shit the Nazis were doing. And that's not even like, now we're into this weird period where like, oh, well, I mean, I'm a proud Christian nationalist. You're a proud Christian nationalist? What? How did we get here? Like, this shit is fucked up.
Right. Okay. So if y'all agree with that, if you all agree with that, then let's go one step further in this conversation about allyship, because they are so tightly knit together, but they're also very, very brilliant in their strategy. Conservatives, they are making their movement seem diverse. They are hiring people to go out and do the bidding. I mean, we could use Clarence Thomas as an example, but he's old money. He's been there forever. But I'm talking about these new kids on the block that are coming around right now, and they're becoming famous because they're getting paid good money to give the appearance of diversity. Go
I
ahead,
mean, cooning is as old as time, right? Because
Hell
no,
is old as time.
God, I think about this, right? Because I think about this often because working in your self-interest is the easiest thing you could do. I think about that all the time,
It's
right?
a
Like
default setting too, right?
if
Isn't it? Like most people would want that.
Candace Owens started off on our side, right? Like that's something people don't bother to say. Candace Owens started off saying the opposite of every bullshit thing that she is saying.
She
Right?
started an app or something, didn't she? Like it was an app that tracks like why people should be canceled or something like that. I can't remember the exact details, but it was something lefty like that.
Everything opposite than what she says now. Like, and let me tell you something. I have a bigger problem. Like people who are truly one true bigots, like that's a very different. I believe in them. Or I have less of a problem with them than people who know what they're doing, but they've made a decision that self-interest and money or whatever it is easier, right? And like, listen, I get it. I'm a black woman. I know good and well the kind of person. Like I've said this before. I do not go into court and get excited if I see a black judge or a black prosecutor. That means it's gonna be a hectic day. I do not want to deal with this level of intensity on the opposite end, right? I do not want to deal with that. I know good and well. Imagine this kind of advocate on the right. You know what I'm saying? Jesus. I recognize, yeah. If I started spewing right-wing shit, they'd eat me up. They'd love me. They would love me. They would celebrate me. The paycheck would be crazy, right? Like you know what? We as black people know, we all know that we have the option to be a sellout coon, right? We all know that. The problem is the price you pay for that is too high for what is not a real reward, because at the end of the day, the easiest, and at the end of the day, you can't cash yourself out of your blackness. And I think something like this 2 days ago, I wrote the Amtrak, right? Let me give you an example. I wrote the Amtrak, and I'm in the Amtrak band, like, oh, I'm rich now, Ben and Bubba. I'm like, ooh, listen, listen, y'all, I'm in the Amtrak, like, I made it. I'm on the phone with my best friend, laid up in my Amtrak spot, talking about how good I love the Amtrak, I love the Amtrak, I love the Amtrak. I'm tweeting about it, right? Now, mind you, I'm sitting there thinking, literally on the FaceTime with my best friend, and I'm like, all these white people keep looking at me like I'm Rosa Parks. I'm like, hey, son, I swear, I'm like literally to my best friend, like, yo, I swear to God, I wish it was a blacks only car. I could sit on it because these people are talking to me crazy. So then all of a sudden, here comes one of the guys that works there. Well, a black guy, you know, but like a light mixed black guy, do you know what I mean? Comes over and he's immediately like, don't believe that I have a ticket. He's giving me all kind of shit.
Wow.
I can afford, and I'm sitting there like blown the fucking way because I'm sitting there to, like, Nia, like I'm talking to my best friend on the phone, like, bitch, weed costs more than for me to ride this fucking Amtrak, and these people do not believe that I could be on this business class Amtrak, and this man is giving me the hardest time. And I was like, you know, this comes to show. I was like, this is an important recognition, because I don't say to him, I'm a lawyer, I know this is bullshit and blah 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 blah, because I'm on the phone with my friend, and I'm like, I recognize based on how this man is giving me this energy, what he's doing, and blah blah blah, what he thinks and what he perceives and how he's acting. I'm like, this man will get me arrested at the next stop. I see what's going on. Of this, and I'm just thinking, right? And I'm like, this is why it's important to remember. It does not matter. I'm like, it don't matter that what my daddy does, what my mommy does, what I do, what money I make, blah 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 blah. All he saw was my black ass sitting in this fucking car, and he don't believe I'm there. And I'm like, and that's what's important to never forget. You know, you think it's easier. You think, oh, I could go cash out, I could go act divorce for my community, but you always remember. Let me tell you how you know you always remember, because take it back to 2020. Do y'all remember when Candace Owens couldn't get that fucking COVID test and her ass came out there online telling all us how because she was black? Do y'all remember that? She could they told her they wouldn't give her a COVID test because she's a conservative fucking bigot. But she was like, it's because I'm black, it's because I'm this, and whatever. And she felt that. She came out and told, you know what I mean? She couldn't even with all her grift, even with all that, she couldn't wait. And because at the end of the day, it's like, you could try to play this game all you want. You could try to do all these different things. But at the end of the day, if you fall out of line, if you don't play the role that you're supposed to play, don't give a damn. Because what's his name? The cool one that died. They didn't make
she was seen at a stadium where she had to have been vaccinated to be inside, I think. She was photographed like inside of a stadium at some sports games. So she's lying. She was just lying. Yeah.
They're full of shit.
That's the funny thing about these conservatives. The hypocrisy is kind of the point, much like the cruelty. I need to get you all's opinion on this video, and not so much this video, but the play that's happening. And I think it's representative of the allyship that the right has. These people, and honestly, Ole, that's you probably introduced this the best way possible, because the voice that you're going to hear is a black man. And it is a black man who is inside of a Lego store. If you haven't seen it already, he's inside of a Lego store, and he's attacking the two employees because they have LGBTQ pins on. Now, this represents the diversity that fascism will have, but there's a lot more to this story. Let's watch that clip real quick.
Uniforms. I'm so exhausted by people acting like gay people are new. Can we stop?
Yeah, right,
girl. Like they have not been around for fucking ever.
Yeah, for always.
They're everywhere. Stop get out. Like
the Lego group.
Okay, I'll tell you.
The Lego group pretty proudly supports the LGBTQ community. Do we not?
Yeah. Yes. But the question is, why are you all in here with those pins on? Do you think children care about what man sucks at home and what girl eats vaginas at home? Do you think they care about that?
It's
so weird.
Do you think they care?
I don't think they think about that personally.
Right. So why would they think about it when they see your pin? Yes, they do. It's disgusting. That's called grooming.
All right. Did y'all mind leaving?
Yeah. If you call security, tell security that you're in here wearing a pride flag on your shirt.
Come on, guys. It's time to leave.
You know what's amazing? Most children don't know. He's been educated by me. I think it's grooming. It's borderline pedophilia and child abuse for these weirdos to come in here and wear that. And at the same time, kids buy from the store. When does it stop? I'm sick and tired. Huh? Yeah, but I came here to buy something. When does it stop? At some point, we need to stop pushing this mess on children.
At this point, we're just going to have to ask you to leave.
I'll leave. And I won't spend any money at Lego.
Fantastic.
If you're in here right now, and you care about value, this store is intentionally promoting LGBTQ behavior on children.
Sir,
spend your money in a place that doesn't do that to kids.
Sir, you're about to get trespassed.
Oh, I wish I was in there. Oh, I wish I was in there.
Yeah.
Who is being fucking weird? Who's being weird? I swear. Like in that scene, in that video clip, who's the weirdo? Who's the one obsessed with someone like a stranger's genitals? You are being so fucking weird. I don't know what it is. Like this stuff, the woke mind virus, whatever you want to call it, it rots people's brains. Transphobia, like it makes them so weird.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, let me explain something. Normalize getting your ass beat. Like, no, honest to God,
that's real. That's real shit.
No,
because
this is the problem when after country realizes everything. Some people need their fucking ass beat. Like, you need your ass beat because there's certain ways that you will learn not to move and not to carry on or whatever. You need your ass beat. You can't do this shit in the bombers. You carry on. And the people you're with somebody, you need to get your ass beat. No, it's unreal. And and this is the problem I think without people thinking about structures, right? Because what happens is people are taught. I was saying this last night. I think I was saying this in Leftist Mafia actually, Lance. I was saying like power is maintained by subjugating others. And so other groups go and adopt the same kind of systems and look for it for other communities that are underneath them in the hierarchy to do it too. And you see that so often in our community.
Oh yeah. Well, I was going to say I can't obviously speak for the Black community, but like I don't know, and you don't have to answer this if I'm the only queer on the panel. But the same things like F slurs that are used within the community, and when I hear it used directly, like as that gives it the same power that fascists will use it, it irks me. I'm like that's weird. Why are you doing that? This like you were doing this to the benefit of a group that is trying to oppress another group. That fucking sucks. Like, the only winner here is the far right.
Yeah. And if I had been in that store, I swear, when he would have said something, I would have said, "And I'm gay as hell. What's up?" And it's a whole lot of other gay motherfuckers in here too. Let's go. You're gonna get dumped in some Legos today. You're gonna get a Lego Death Star upside your goddamn head today.
The whole thing, man.
The whole
People need to be forced to contend with the things about themselves like that suck. And I think that's something like in our real world that like people do not do. There is not a lot of self-reflection on what sucks and what is not good about you. And people do not call it enough. And there's too much need to pacify around the people in our lives. Like my daddy is somebody I used to tell my dad, I'm like, you are homophobic, daddy. I don't like not that you are homophobic. We don't got no time to dance around it. You my pa, you are homophobic. This is a problem, whatever. And that's that. And then my daddy has worked on those things. I had my daddy views today. It's not the same as what it was. And you know why? Because no one was coddling that bullshit. You know what I mean?
That's right.
From around me, that's homophobia, that's anti-blackness. I don't lie to the people in my life. And I think this is the mistake people make. People think, listen, we live in a big world. And if we're honest, more bad shit happens in the world than good. That's just true. If you look around, more bad shit happens than good. There are more bad views because most of what is the status quo everywhere is bad. The pervasive views and things around us are bad, but people cannot contend with telling the people that they love that things about them are not good, or ideologies and things that they believe are not great, and you need to reflect on that. And we all have stuff that is not great. I remember thinking, my uncle, like my mummy's brother is gay, and he's married to my uncle Andre, who's married to my uncle Ricky, and they've been together my entire life, my whole stinking life. And I remember a time when I was a kid, right, thinking, because homophobia is very prevalent in the Bahamas. It is the popular point of view in the Bahamas.
I heard this.
My uncle Andre is so serious. My uncle Andre is he's a serious fella. Okay, and like all the ways that they stereotype homosexuality, I just didn't pick up on it. And they told me, like, when I was a little kid, like my uncle, they were like, they're roommates. So that's all I thought.
That's so wholesome.
Swear to God, like they're roommates, and they never updated the narrative. So then one time, right? Like I remember, because my uncle is mean, like thinking as a kid, like, oh, I need to say like the mean Bahamian perspectives to get on his side, his good side. I remember being like in a shoe store and saying something. I don't remember what, but something that I remember like was homophobic-ish. And I remember just looking at my uncle's face like you know what I mean? And then one time being in the car with my mommy, and my mommy saying something, and my mommy was like, I said something about my uncles being roommates, and my mommy was like, what? They are gay. And my auntie was like, that's gay. What are you doing?
Come on.
Look, you know, back in the day, that's what it was. Oh, yeah, this is my roommate.
Bert Nerdy on Sesame Street.
Bert Nerdy.
Bert Nerdy.
Bert Nerdy. You know they're fucking.
I had to reflect, though. I had to reflect and pull it together and learn things. There's certain things you learn about your own self all the time. Like, we're not all perfect people. We're learning kind of evolution.
Excellent.
Like I am not. Let me tell you something. There's something I'm constantly policing again my own self together and recognizing where I have blind spots and where I have issues. Right? Like I am not fat phobic against other people, but boy, am I fat phobic against my goddamn self. Like, you know what I mean? There are all kinds of things. Like, and I'd be like, ooh, you a problematic bitch. Like,
I love you, Ole.
And like people are not prepared to contend with that, and there needs to be more people in people's life saying, "Hey, I love you."
Listen.
But that's get that together. Like pull that together. That is not a good, like that right there. I love you, but that right there is a bad position, and it's too much. The
we gotta acknowledge and reiterate the fact that like you're not born a transphobe. Like my view on all this shit is always going to be, and this is why I think people should have opportunity and room to change. Is you're not born a racist, you're not born a homophobe, you're not born a transphobe. This shit is taught to us and it's programmed into us, and all of our culture reflects it. Culture reflects us, and we keep it's like this is a cyclical loop. So yes, we can break it, we can change this. I guess the Overton window can move, whatever you want to call it, but that has to be acknowledged by everybody. I'm like, and everyone gets the terms with that. Like, there's no such thing. No one will be woke. There isn't like an achievement unlocked. Woke. You have done it. You know, plus one. It's like, shit, this is a learning thing.
New
We're
level.
all unlearning this shit, right?
Woke.
Yes, yeah. You are woke.
I want to say this to Ole real quick, and then I want to give you the next part of the story. Ole, I don't like to lay this at the feet of Black people, because there is this thing that's erroneous that assumes that because we're Black that we are homophobic. But I think there is a conservative thread through the Black community, particularly because of our religion. You know, our various religions. I don't care what your religion is. Black religious orders are generally very, very homophobic. And I myself was pretty homophobic back in the day. So I don't have anything on the internet, so don't even try searching for it. But,
already looked. Let's go now.
I was no, but I was homophobic from a religious perspective, because there was this church that was the first gay church in Fort Lauderdale was coming up, and then when I saw my reaction to it, Ole, that's when I realized I had to look at myself in the mirror. I said, "Oh no, boy, you good and homophobic."
No, yeah, you gotta see it. You gotta see it. Like for me, you know what it is? I've always been a defense attorney in my spirit. Like even whether or not I'm practicing, and that was something my therapist once pointed out to me. I was always somebody that like didn't like feeling like somebody else was being picked on. I didn't have somebody to advocate for them. Like I'm the kind of person I always I got me. No one else got to look up for me because I can speak up for me. I've never had a problem. Like you say something to me, I got you. I have a response. And I always feel, even in times where I feel sad and like even when I was a kid and I would have loved people to like champion me. Like I didn't have a good childhood growing up and blah, blah, blah. And I always wish like I had advocates, but I was always someone who was able to stand up for myself. And so even though I was being bullied or my household situation, my home life wasn't great, I would be surrounded. I would always go and gravitate towards the people or the kids in school that I would bully that I feel like couldn't speak out for themselves or different kinds of things. That's always been me. I hate, literally yesterday, I was walking past the bodega to go to the smoke shop, and there was a homeless guy sitting on the bench, and he asked this woman for $1, and she like snapped him, and she was like, "Do you go to work? Do I go to work and ask for $1?" And I was like, "Wow, miss, you're a bitch." Like I was like, "You're a bitch." I was like, "Ma'am, you're a bitch." Like, I was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I was like, "Hey." Like I've always been a person like I hate feeling like you're jumping on people that don't have somebody to speak up for them, right? And so for me, it's just a matter of literally looking around the world and being honest with myself. It's like at the end of the day, it's like, listen, I'm Black, I'm a woman, I'm an immigrant, I'm a lot of different things that people shit on. And I recognize that even within that group, they shit on the Black LGBT so much more. And you know, I know because I'm all those things. And it's only, I'm telling you, I am loved every time when the way Black people love me, the kind of fierceness and intensity and the way that I do not back down when it comes to racism, Black people love me. They love that until I extend it to Black LGBT people.
Come on.
And it's
and so I see it. I'm like, I would be being dishonest if I did not acknowledge that factual matter as that's the truth. And for me, I'm like, I can't live with that. It bothers me deeply feeling like seeing other people that need somebody to advocate and you don't do it. And so I can't rock with that. I can't live with that. And I also hate the fact that people act like the LGBTQ community are unicorns. It pisses me the fuck off because it
look.
James, James, jump in there. I got one more thing to add. James, jump in there before we go.
Oh, like you said some shit because when they tell them, I'm like you. When they find out, like you're so sweet, you're so nice, and they find out I'm gay, I'm like, oh, you're gay? Yeah. Oh, like, what changed? What changed? Because I love who I love.
Right?
That's all that changed.
I would say it like this. Listen, Black folks are going to find themselves, as particularly Black Christians, we're going to find ourselves marching side by side with Nazis and white supremacists because of our homophobia and transphobia.
Actual. Black people I know literally will suddenly they recognizing the intelligence and a Candace Owens or somebody the minute they say some homophobic shit. And I'm like, I will. And let me tell you something. I've always been this person. I will message my friends like, "Hey, you have me fucked up. Change this shit right." Listen, I'm not putting. I'm telling you, I have friends like take this shit right down right now. You don't fucking play with me. As a courtesy as your friend, I'm not gonna say nothing on this timeline. Take this shit down before I drag you for fucking. What is this? No, I have a major. I
have to do that from time to time in a group chat. I'm just going to call it a group chat that I'm in. I have to, and I have to be in that group chat so you can read between the lines. But I have to do that in this group chat where I have to be the person who calls out the people who are in that room spreading, my God, lies from Candace Owens. They even drop. Oh, anyway, I don't. If I say one more, they're gonna know who I'm talking about. But here's the last one.
We know it ain't us though.
I buried the lead on this story, y'all. I buried the lead on the story because the guy who's in the video, his name is Reverend John Amanchukwa.
Is somebody with a platform? No, Lord.
He is. Wait, it's even better than that. This video went super viral because of Charlie Kirk. Turning Points USA, and if David put it on the screen, this guy actually, if you look in his bio on Twitter, he's an activist author at TP USA Faith. He works for Charlie Kirk. This is a Black man who is part of the Turning Points USA. And again, for those people who don't know who Charlie Kirk and Tony Points, he sponsored 80 buses.
Let me tell you,
80 buses to January.
Our worlds are intersecting. This is like a great example of why like black people need white friends and white people need black friends. We're learning about each other's baddies. We're learning about all the we're learning about all the worst people on both sides. You know, I'll be like, hey, I got to introduce you to a whole bunch of new people. Have you heard of Steven Crowder? And I'm like, have you heard of John Kay? And I'm like, I haven't heard of John Kay. I know about him now though. Like,
I go on stage in tweet is thanking Rand Paul for engagement. Like, deliver me from the foolishness that is this nonsense. Like, it's just sickening. Honestly, listen.
You thinking Rand Paul on his?
I will say this, and I like this is something that I find actually legitimately fascinating, right? Like, because Christianity and religion is the only it's the singular thing. It's the single thing. I will say that it's the only thing you could tell black people can consciously know was brought to us specifically. We know educationally, all of us, we know that it was given to us, force fed to us by by white people, by colonizers to make us subservient. We won't let it rock. We won't let, and I'm not giving anybody any grief. No, I'm not saying that as like somebody like I'm somebody who's outside of like who doesn't have like, oh, I'm unaffected and y'all are. No, I'm saying that like me too, like all of us, right? Like I'm from a constitutionally Christian nation. Like the Bahamas is constitutionally Christian. And so much our community is so Christian, you know, when it comes to these fucked up ideals. And it's so crazy to me because even that's the one thing I will say, like you will see black people, you know, of a certain level of like people will say, let me give you an example. When I became let's say woke, for the sake of argument, let's say woke. You know, I think my great auntie, she'd be like, oh, I'm into blackly black this and blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's, you know, and people are like, oh, yeah, liberal you in America. They will attribute all these different things to why you have these belief systems or why you came to believe that. But Christianity is the one thing that no matter how much they seem to educate us, put us in the colleges, the liberal this, no matter, we all have it. Ben, there's nothing that I'm going to say for Christianity that you ain't heard, Ben, that Bubba ain't heard, that all this ain't heard. And we still be like, you know what I mean? We're all kind of in the matrix. And it's interesting because like we can't, it's fascinating to study because we cannot get out of that matrix. Like I'm telling you, I know so many educated black people, like my own self. I'm making it right now, but I could not confidently say to you, I wouldn't say to you, Bo, I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm an atheist. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say I'm an agnostic. I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't say I'm a Christian. I wouldn't say any of those things. But I'm intellectually telling you all of the things that I know. I know it's a setup, and yet I cannot bring myself to just be like,
it's interesting. Exactly. It's so true. It's like I have my own beliefs. Like it's just like not atheist, not agnostic. It's just like, you know, it is what it is. That's all I can say at this point because I had to learn to put it though.
It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what I love that. I love that. That's my religious beliefs too. You know what? I'm going to steal that. I'm going to steal that. It is what it is.
It is what it is. There's somebody out there who knows what the universe provides too.
I want to know my religious beliefs.
I'm open to ideas.
Like how I see religion, right? I'll tell you how I see religion, and nobody has to, you know, co-sign this or anything like that because it's not a fleshed out thing. But I'll tell you how I see religion. I see religion similarly to how I see the Constitution, in the sense that I see a living Constitution, a document that is made for us to govern ourselves, and it's supposed to evolve with the people, right? And that's just that in the same way that there's a lot of gray area with human beings, and there's a lot of people. I'm sure you know people you don't think are bad people ever go to hell, but you don't fuck with them. You don't want to be no near them or whatever. Another way, people you think are good people you still want, and vice versa. It's like I'm like I do not believe that there are things that you do or don't do or little arbitrary things that means you go into hell or you don't go into hell. But I do believe in like fundamental goodness and fundamental badness and all these different things. But I will say this to me, and everybody could feel, you know, I don't talk about things, and I try to talk about things that I know matter of factly from a place of authority. I don't talk about religion. To me, I don't believe that there is a place to talk about religion from a place of authority. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that anybody talks about religion from a place of authority. Pastors, religion, everybody. You don't fucking know anything. Are you dead? Do you know? Did you talk to God? You talk to Jesus? You don't know.
None of this is about to get really interesting, folks.
I know.
I love it. And I cannot wait.
I don't like parties. I want to say that anybody.
Is this a controversial topic?
I'm giving you the disclaimer. Do not be under the impression that I think you need to agree with me, that I think I am right. that I think I'm wrong. No, that is not what I'm saying. I am not offering anything like that to you or whatever.
I have a lived experience of being the white dude who got super obsessed with being right about being an atheist for a while. And that's like, this is the shitty thing about me. I was reading my Richard Dawkins, my Christopher Hitchens, I'd never liked Sam Harris. He was always kind of just like a swarmy, like piece of shit. But like, I love him. And then, you know, just like most people who are on the internet, I was like, you believe in Jesus. I'm right. You're wrong. You know, like it sucks.
Certain things, the same way you could get, listen, there are things that are not, there are things that I think very valuably that no one's arguing that we're ordained by God, right? Like, I believe deeply in what the hell Huey Newton has to say, what Angela Davis has to say, what all kind of people who I do not believe are Jesus or God or ordained by God. So you can find true value and intrinsic value in things that we were not, you know, spiritually ordained and all these things. So I will never take from people believing in the Bible or certain messages. Because I'm a person, I believe in the golden rule. And the golden rule is keeps people safe every fucking day. From me, you know what I mean? Every day I think to myself, how would I treat you? You know, blah, 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 blah. And that being said, but I will say this, when it comes to religion, to me, it is not lost upon me that this entire institution is made to mirror our entire criminal system, which I also think is some bullshit. That's not a coincidence. Like, to me, forget everything else. When people start doing all the math on why they believe it's man-made and when the world started, fuck all that. I know it's man-made based on the fact that it mirrors a man-made institution. The idea that there's good, like, it's just black and white, good and bad, and good people go to heaven and bad people go to hell. That's quite literally our criminal system put in a religion. That's what it is. That's literally what we're saying. And that's just not, if you're around the world, there are billions of people in the world. Good and bad is not intrinsically, you know what I mean? People are not, and I always think about that. People are not villains in their own life story. They're not walking around thinking they're not walking around thinking they're antagonists. So there are different ways to go about things. Different people are different things to different people. I have met men that are not bad men in general, but they might be a bad man to me. You know what I mean? Or certain things, or there are certain people I like. Like I was telling Lance earlier, I was like, when I was describing to Lance why I was telling Lance, I was like, well, I'm an intimidating character. People, and Lance was like, what? People think you're intimidating? I was like, yes, Lance, they do.
You just seem very fun. I don't know why someone would, like, I just, my impression is you're very funny and fun. I don't know why someone would think that. I haven't met you IRL, but
personality. Similarly, because I was like, Lance, we're both big, similar kinds of personalities, right? Like when people don't like Lance on the internet, it's confusing to me. I'm like, I don't get it. Lance is so nice. And same way you feel, because we are similar kinds. You like different kinds of people. Certain people scream to you as good in different things. It's not that intrinsically black and white. So to me, the way religion is obviously that kind of composite. But I leave people alone because at the end of the day, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like when I talk about things that I know from a place of authority, is things that I know. With religion, I always have found it perplexing to me that people talk to you about religion from a place of like matter of fact. Well, know that.
Matter of fact, let me.
It is what it is.
Yeah, come.
The pastor about to speak now. Hey, go, Pastor Benjamin.
James,
I would be remiss. Are you a pastor?
I would be remiss if I didn't now confess the fact that I am a pastor.
What? Elijah, did you know this? Did you know this? What? What? You saying this shit to a pastor? Oh my god! Whoa. This
you didn't know that,
this
did
is a Sam Smith show right now. This is satanic. What is going on? This is the devil's work.
No. This is what I would call a blessing, and the conversation has gone to the perfect place. It's gone exactly. Ole, I would say, you know what? I out of everything that you said, I would only disagree with maybe two things that you said. Now, those two things are a matter of privacy, though. When someone says that they are ordained by God, it's recognized by a group of people and it's recognized by an institution. But that ordination, that claim to be in communication with God, that's so personal that this is the first time I've ever said it on my show and on my network in 7 years. Right. Yeah. That I have this kind of relationship with God. Right. Yeah. But I don't use that to assert. I've never used it to assert political.
And I wouldn't want to take it away from anyone. That's my view. I was like, you do you.
Yes.
You know, just don't force it on other people.
Right. Well, stay with me. Stay with me because it is the usage of. And here, one last thing. Like on my Twitter profile, I call myself the pastor of Antifa. Because I need people to understand. No, for real. Like, you know, I got a few receipts and we won't talk about that anyway.
Right.
The thing is that the fight that we have right now, I'm gonna skip ahead. Like we could go into a whole lot of the discussion. Oh, the other thing I do have to say this before, because this is my cup of tea. In terms of Christianity being force-fed to Black people, there are plenty of examples of that. But I always have to give the multiple examples of how Christianity actually was rooted in Africa long before it even got to Europe. It actually came to Africa through the Ethiopian eunuch. Some of the oldest Christian churches in the world are in Africa, in Egypt, the Christian Coptic Church. So it actually got to Black people in the book of Acts, like biblical times was the first contact that Christianity had with Black people long before white supremacy did what it did to it. But all the other arguments that you have, like I also want to say this: the reason my audience is predominantly atheists and agnostics is because I am a skeptic above all things else.
Yeah.
Right? I question everything. I question God all the time.
Man, I appreciate you know that. I don't even know. Now did you say it? Because honestly, I've never discussed religion ever in my life before now. And honestly, the only people who will ever experience religious is who's ever live on this show right now, like in the chat, because I wouldn't even be able to tell you I don't discuss it. You know, because I'm making a point not to discuss it. That I don't.
It's one of those topics. Yep.
Right. Y'all made me have to confess publicly that I'm a pastor. And listen, here's the thing. The reason I don't say it publicly is not because I'm ashamed of it. I'm trying to protect the church. I get death threats doing this work. Olay, I know you get death threats doing this work. So I try to really, I try to put a separation between church and state. So,
literally, I'm not even exaggerating. I don't say nothing. And I was just telling my boy, Alex tonight, LOL Overruled, who's TikTok famous, who's who I'm in Florida right now for a content creator convention right now, but they're all downstairs.
People are accusing you of being your white boyfriend. Is that the same dude?
You see that?
I saw you. I'm not going to talk about this, but this is wild. This is wild to see. As an outsider, just gonna say,
would it be Olance or would it be Lansley?
And yo, people want me to have a white man so bad, and let me tell you this. I'm telling you, I have nothing but Black male friends. I put up pictures with Black men the other day. The other day I put up a picture with 3 Black Bahamian men, all fine. No one said shit. No one. I can't even talk to a white man without them being like, "That's your man." I'm telling you,
I don't know. I know chemistry when I see. Anyway, I digress.
Jokes, and they be in my DMs like, "Oh my God, Lance loves you. You love Lance." Like, be in my DMs trying to make it happen. I'm like, "Oh my God, these are partnered people."
Right. It's adorable. I love it. I love everyone's losing their shit. You take one picture, and it was the most wholesome photo. Half the comments were like, "Is that Mr. Beast?" And the other half of the comments were like, "Is that your boyfriend?" And I was like, "Whoa."
I have DMs right now from full-on professionals at like working news outlet networks being like, "Y'all are so cute." I'm like, no. What are you?
Wow. What happened?
What's happening?
Right, man. Roller Dragon in the chat room said it's a Lance affair.
Our contingent, I'm telling you, I've never said nothing a lot on Leftist Mafia because there's a bunch of us there, but there's a bunch of our audience that want that to be a thing so bad. They be in my DMs like, "Oh my God,
that is cute." I think it comes from a place of love. They're just like, "Oh, I like both of these personalities, these people. They seem like they're super happy."
Lance, are you married?
You know, I am. Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. We don't get in trouble pushing that.
Right. No. I don't talk about it much. I don't talk about my personal life, but like I'm very open to anyone who asks. I'm like, I have a partner. Like me and Alimi DM each other, and like I'll say in like voice messages, and sorry to break everyone's hearts, but I'll say in voice messages, I'll mention my partner, right? Like it's not a secret part of me. But it's, you know what's really funny? On paper, I am like a lot of the things that the far right says to be. It's like you should be in like a good relationship, you know, you should be happy, you should be married, and all those kind of things. And like, yeah, I guess I've checked off those boxes. I'm happy. I like life. It's great.
Yeah. No. The reason
we've gone from our discussion.
I didn't want to go too far with the relationship thing. We're making up names in the chat room. You know, we're doing like, is it Lance or is it Lance Lay? Like we don't want to call it that.
Like you see, like my thing is, I could tell them I have gone on record so many times. I've literally explicitly explicitly been like, like, man, not dating anyone.
Man, I love your show. This is so much fun. Why didn't you invite me on before?
And it don't even make sense to me. I'd be like, why do y'all want to put people to white man? Are y'all hearing the things that I say? Do you even feel like this is the most peaceful situation for my home life? Like, you know what I mean? Like, be for real. Not a
Lansamy. I like that one.
I like it. Listen, hey, listen. If
you
we
know,
don't,
now I'm in trouble.
We actually went
right.
You know, if we actually went by Olansamy, they would be able to pronounce that better than they would ever say my first name. Can nobody say Olayemi, but they would say Olansamy.
That's so bad because I can't say it still. But you know, I got a Mississippi.
Olay like hell.
I learned it. I learned it.
Okay, hey, can I confess this? No, wait. I want to get rid of some white guilt. Okay, Olayemi. I mispronounced Olayemi's name a couple times on my show, and I was trying to be the good one. I was trying to be one of the good whites, and I looked up on YouTube how to pronounce your name, and the YouTube tutorial said Olayemi. The way to pronounce this name is Olayemi. And then I was like, all right, I did my due diligence. There's no microaggressions taking place here. I'm not part of the problem. I'm one of the good ones.
Yes, it's not you, Lance. I'm a knockoff Nigerian. At least say it wrong.
Oh man! Listen, I want to show y'all one more thing before we get out of here. Like we're overtime, but it doesn't matter because this is a good one, man. I haven't laughed. This is gonna make you laugh though. You're in Florida right now, Olay. I'm not even gonna try to say Olayemi.
Look at that though, Ben. Look at that though.
Did I do it right?
Olay, see, you know what? Olay.
It's okay, Buffalo. Don't worry.
Girl, I try every time. I'm
so affirmed right now.
Watch this video. I want y'all to watch this video real quick. This is a video attack ad. This is the first salvo in the war between Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis. And boy, is it a doozy. Let's run that clip.
Oh Lord.
Long. And we're Ron DeSantis loves sticking his fingers where they don't belong. And we're not just talking about pudding. DeSantis has his dirty fingers all over senior entitlements, like cutting Medicare, slashing Social Security, even raising our retirement age. Tell Ron DeSantis to keep his pudding fingers off our money. Oh, and somebody get this man a spoon.
Make America Great Again, Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
You know what?
He is so dead on arrival. He is so dead on arrival. He is so fucked. Holy shit, is he done? It's over. It's over.
Listen, if you watch my show, you know that I take great pride in producing foolishness, like getting my jokes off, like in a significant way. Like you can't compete with somebody that's having that much of a good time coming for your neck.
Okay.
Think of it, to understand, first of all, as someone, and now that I produce my own show, I really appreciate production. Trump sat down and was like, hey, put in, like, that's a whole concept. I really I see this differently now. Like, wow, this is excellent. Listen, Trump is going to beat DeSantis in the primary, and that's good for us. The reason why I'm not saying shit about that is because that's good for us. We could beat
I agree.
Trump in the election, we could beat DeSantis.
I agree.
So,
I agree. No, it's better. I'm Team Trump for right now. It's the weirdest position to be in. But I gotta be honest, he's been so fucked for so long. For so long. He was taking half measures. You don't go like halfway with Trump. You can't be like, well, it's kind of unusual with Stormy Daniels, because then Trump's like, you're a fucking pedophile. You're a pedophile. He's a pedophile, everyone. Like, you can't beat that shit. He's
Ron
like,
DeSantis,
what the fuck? You know, yeah.
Has pudding fingers.
Pudding fingers, bro.
Pudding fingers.
You're done. You're done. Putting fingers. It's over. It's over. No, that's all anyone's ever gonna think of now.
Listen, when you put that video on top of the fact that he is at Liberty University today instead of being in Fort Lauderdale, this like 2 feet underwater.
Right.
And yesterday he was in Ohio campaigning. And this has been the most meteoric rise as well as fall of a potential president. Like, he really thought he had 2024 in the bag.
Oh yeah, he did.
Me too. Hold on. Me too. Me too.
Not gonna lie to you. I'm just like, okay, and I'm just like, Trump, you running again? I'm like, oh shit, here we go again. And then when Biden announced he was running again, I'm just like, okay.
think
okay. And now we got Tim Scott to contend with too. What the fuck?
Who's the character from? Oh, y'all are all too, except for you, James. You and me are old enough. Remember Fat Albert?
I know that reference. I used to watch the show.
Right.
Before y'all leave, the Fat Albert movie.
Canadians were into that too.
Do you remember the live action Fat Albert movie with Keenan? That was good. Why does no one talk about that? That was good as shit. I remember being very.
I gotta rewatch it. It's been too long.
It wasn't bad. I do remember it. I think I probably would watch the movie
Jughead
more than I would the show. I mean the cartoon.
Heartfelt stinking movie. I remember really loving that. Especially
it was good. It was good.
I can't stand when people act like they don't understand Mushmouth or Donald Duck. I'd be so pissed off. Like, why y'all fucking English? I'd be so first of all, I'm not gonna lie to you, Roller Dragon. I didn't even remember that Bill Cosby was behind the live action. I didn't remember that, but no, that's not why they're against it. Black people don't give a shit about that. They just didn't remember. I
completely spaced on that.
That is true. The only reason I brought up Fat Albert is just because you brought up Tim Scott, and someone earlier tweeted an image of the character Jughead from Fat Albert, side by side with Tim Scott, and I just want y'all to.
Oh my God!
Screaming at Mushmouth. I'm not gonna stand for this. I love Mushmouth. Don't do Mushmouth like this.
Oh my God! I'm not allowed to laugh at this. What are you doing to me?
Okay, man.
Get that white man off the screen.
Yeah, blur me. I gotta turn my camera off.
Get that down. All right, take it out.
I gotta get out of this clip.
Okay. Yes, that was meant for our black audience only. If you are a white supporter of the show, I don't need you laughing.
I was not a part of that scene.
I honestly.
No, hold on. Did y'all watch Ben? Speaking of laughing to be out of the scene, Ben, did you watch my Clarence Thomas video today? Because last watching text me like I can't keep laughing at this. I'm not allowed.
I said you're pushing me to the limits of my whiteness. I was like, what are you doing to me? I can't watch this. It's too funny. I'm to laugh at this.
Yes, man. Thank you for being. See, this is what I appreciate. At least you know when not to laugh. And David, you better not be laughing in the background. I swear for God. No. Hey, Ole, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Lance, hey, keep doing what y'all doing. Leftist me, and let me say this real quick about Leftist Mafia. If there's any group of white folks that I would love for Ole to be around on a day, on a show, it's everybody on that screen, because every one of them rock hard for the black community, rock hard for liberation. Shout out to David, to Matt. Is it? I always want to say Bender. It's Bender, right?
Bender.
Oh, I got it right. See,
it is Bender. Yeah.
But I don't know the host of the channel. The person who had the first person that they have the little icon there. Who's
Illuminati?
Honestly,
Illuminati.
To everybody's channel but mine, and honestly, so no one knows, because I feel like no one really knows the lore and leftist mafia. People just be guessing things, but this was actually Lance's idea. Like, just for the record, let me just put that out.
My idea. It was just me. It was an election night, and I was reaching out to all my friends, and you were the ones who answered the call. Like, I DM'd a whole bunch of people. I said, "Do you want to come to my show? It's an election night. Do you want to just talk shit? Let's hang out. Let's drink. Let's smoke. Let's fucking have a time."
Okay, like, listen, this is what happened. Lance asked a bunch of us to come come for midterms. Lance was like, let's have a giant stream, and he invited a bunch of us, and it was fun. And then Lance came to us and was like, y'all want to do this every day, every Thursday, or every week? And we were like make it a thing. And we were like, yeah, okay, let's do it. Now, I will say, I do think I took some executive order and making everybody take it seriously. Like, hey, every fucking Thursday.
That's true. Your attendance is flawless.
Yes, I definitely did the animation creative. Make it be like, we're doing this. Like, but it was Lance's original. Without Lance, it wouldn't exist. I'll put it that way.
And also, you and Illuminati specifically do so much fucking organizing behind the scenes. Like that's like that has to be called out. What is it? Mike is the one who did the theme song.
Yes.
I did the opening deep fake graphic video. I edited all that. Like it's been a collaboration.
Animation, our cartoon done. All you girl, like, yeah, so it is a team effort. We love it. It's really fun. I know that we are in the middle. I know you can't tell because right now we're the center of leftist drama, but it actually, our show, if anybody watches it instead of the clip drama that we're in, our show's fun. It's very lax. Like we are Thursday. It's meant to be.
It's like this show.
Yeah.
It feels just like
this. Except laxer because y'all be sober. I be high. Like on our show. Leftist drama.
Well,
I'm gonna let this mafia fry.
I need to come visit y'all then because I try to be so polite and behaved here because Benjamin Parnell Dixon has such a legacy to uphold, and I don't want to mess up.
He's a pastor after all.
Listen. Some of my most just Google search my name. Y'all understand that I've not been the in terms of that. And listen, I have a medicinal card in the state of Florida, so.
Hold on, while I'm here, because
here we go.
Alex is laughing at me. I seem to ask everybody I ask don't smoke no weed. Bro, what I'm gonna do? Because it's Friday. I don't know where.
You're not about to ask the pastor where you could get some weed on a Friday night.
Who not?
Alex, if I don't smoke this,
not on air. Text me. No. Listen, I am a good upstanding citizen. I have a medicinal card. And matter of fact, it has. I have to share. You know what? I do want to share. I don't know when, but coming up soon, I got to share my healing journey because I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a Christian. I pray. I'll do all that stuff. But this medicinal weed has been something that has helped me physically as well as emotionally. And I think people need to stop drinking alcohol and smoke weed.
Hey, you right here. We locked in. You don't even tell me. Listen, I be trying to tell people I smoke weed for everybody else. That's because I love people so much. I smoke weed to keep everybody else safe.
That's one thing we can relate to on the religion part of it. God put that on earth here for me.
And he did.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Baby.
What part of Florida are you in? Maybe I can switch in the right direction, Olay. You're in Atlanta. I can tell you who delivers.
Now, if you was in Atlanta, Olay, I would have already been on the phone with you. Say, Olay, what's up, girl? Pull up.
Moving to Atlanta. I be considering moving to Atlanta all the time. I'd be like,
really?
Black Hollywood. It'd be cheaper.
It's legal in Canada, by the way. It's not an illegal drug here. You buy it in stores. I have like 4 weed stores around my house, like just on the block. It's wild.
See, I'm coming to Canada. Damn that.
Yeah, weed is legal. We legalize weed. It's totally legal here.
Listen.
I have dispensaries by my house.
Because our producers gonna have to go in a minute. But Lance, if it goes down for real, like Handmaid's Tale, if it didn't teach me anything else, is for us to get to Canada. So I need to make some room for a couple of black folks.
You have lots of friends here. Lots of friends.
It is getting kind of real out here. Olay, Lance, hey, thank y'all so much for joining us tonight. DJ exclusive, man. Always, it's a pleasure.
I love y'all. I mean it.
Go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Watch my favorite, my game show. Clarence Thomas thing is exceptional. Bye, y'all.
Take care, everybody. We'll see y'all next time.
I'm so confused. Thank y'all so much for joining us again. Boo might help if I unmute the music. And Olay for running this evening, man. Make sure y'all replay this damn show because I know I'm about to, man. Oh my gosh, I ain't laughed this hard in a long time, and I appreciate all of y'all. Shout out to Rebecca out there. We love you, Becca. We'll see you next week. Shout out to Ben, David, and everybody behind the scenes. We love y'all. Mean it. We will see y'all next Friday. Might be Thursday, but we'll let y'all know. Love y'all. Mean it. Deuces. Benjamin, yeah, that's my man. He's always coming up with the master plan. Politics scheming, trying to find the meaning of life. And while the feds keeps us in strife. I'm your DJ. I really don't need no introduction right now, but you know what? I stay dropping them jams. Y'all know who I am. Good hope, dad jokes, culture-ish, politics. What you're hearing right now was the culmination of all of this. I started out with the mic in my hand, then I graduated to a plethora of fans. I love bringing joy to the people. It makes me feel great, makes me feel regal. I do what I do for you. 8 p.m. Friday, you know how we do. Let's go. It's time for Like It or Not. With Rebecca Azure. Let's start this damn show. It's time for Like It or Not. With Rebecca Azure. Let's start this damn show. Like it or not, y'all. 2023. Let's start this damn show. Let's go.